The Cincinnati Bengals lost to the Washington Commanders. Not a sentence I ever thought I'd say.
I cannot wait to hear you talk about this.
On Monday Night Football last night. Jaden Daniels. I had said Jaden Daniels was one of my favorite quarterback prospects in this class, if not my favorite. And Heisman winner out of LSU, just like Joe Burrow. That was talked about a lot yesterday. Had a great game. He looked phenomenal. I think he had 3 incomplete passes. This was like the first game in 87 years without a single turnover or punt the entire game for both teams. Trey West, is that their punter's name? The Commander's punter?
It beats me, man.
I think it's like Trey West or something.
That is an obscure fact. I barely know my punting.
Tress Way.
Okay.
I apologize, Tress. He apparently has not punted, I think they said since week 1. So Jane Daniels has been keeping him off the field. I don't know if that's true or what, but they have not punted a lot in Washington, which that is something those fans have been used to, is punting. Jane Daniels has looked great. He's going to be a problem for teams for years to come.
So excited about that. Listen, Jaden Daniels, he was during that era of during my Madden eras with Jaden Daniels, Jordan Battle, Kyle Hamilton, and Brew McCoy, and a lot of those guys. And I'm very excited to see some of these guys in the league. So Jaden Daniels, Connor is unbelievably pleased.
Time to stat check myself. Tressaway has punted 3 times this season, but all of them were in week 1.
Oh, nice.
They did not punt against the Giants, and they did not punt against the Bengals. So, that being said, it's time for the Bengals to have some hard conversations, and I don't know what those hard conversations look like. The last 2 weeks, I put these losses on Joe Burrow. I have put them on the offense. There have been things the offense did that just caused them to lose games, whether it be fumbles, Joe not looking like himself. That wasn't the case yesterday. Yesterday, Joe Burrow looked great. Had over 300 passing yards. I think he had 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, as we just said. It looked like Joe Burrow. We had deep passes to Jamar Chase. T. Higgins was back. The tight ends were getting involved. Eric All is going to be fun. He might be the best tight end we've had since Tyler Eifert. And I love Tyler Eifert. Tyler Eifert's my dude. So we'll see. Gonna hold back judgment until we see more, but that's a guy to keep an eye on. Offense looked great. Trent Brown out for the season. Right tackle, patellar tendon injury. Tore it. So said this was the first game Amarius Mims was activated. Good thing he was, because he got put right in there, and it was like, okay, let's see why we drafted you in the first round, buddy boy. And I thought he did pretty well, actually. I thought he held up. There were a couple times where there was one play where he got lost, it seemed, and the guy just ran around him. But he took on a couple double teams. He looked decent for getting thrown in there first game off an injury. I was like, okay. Let's see. Chris Jenkins had got a few snaps, not enough to really say anything on defense. But that defense was awful, terrible, no good, all bad. I don't know what the Bengals thought was going to happen. Everyone said this offseason, you need to bring in a defensive tackle. More specifically, you need to bring in a true nose tackle. Or you need to bring back DJ Reader. They let DJ Reader walk, didn't sign anyone back. Chris Jenkins has been injured. And McKinley Jackson, I'll give them, they drafted 2 guys. We don't know if they're any good. The defensive line has had a ton of injuries. BJ Hill, injured. Sheldon Rankins, injured. But Sam Hubbard, I love Sam Hubbard. The Cincinnati kid, fumble in the jungle. I love all that. I love everything about that. But he might be one of these tough conversations that we have to start having, because he's not getting any pressure. The only person who's getting any pressure is Trey Hendrickson. And the Commanders just double teamed him and then watch the rest of the defensive line run in place while Jaden Daniels just did whatever he wanted. He's a rookie. Okay, yes, he's a second overall quarterback. Cool, rookie. Caleb Williams was first overall, and he had issues. Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be this generational quarterback. He had a terrible rookie season. I don't want to hear the excuses. This team knew that they had holes. They didn't fix them, and now they're paying the price. We're 0-3 in the Joe Burrow era of football with Jamar Chase. Probably your last season with T. Higgins. What? I don't know how to fix this team. This is honestly like the angriest and most upset I've been with the Bengals, other than a game where Joe got hurt. Because I don't know how they fix this outside of making a ton of trades. And I don't think the Bengals will do that.
I don't know if that would help, though. It depends, because like you would have to figure out what you would be trading and what would you be gaining by trading certain players away. Like by trading, like if you traded T. Higgins to a contender just to see if they could make it into the Super Bowl, say for example, I don't know, throw him to the Ravens. And you not that you would, because that would never happen, but you trade T. Higgins to the Ravens because they're a contender and you get a pick for him or something like that, because his contract's gonna be up this year anyway. Like, what do you gain? You'd have to think like, oh, that draft pick's gonna be a rookie, but you're not gonna get any growth from it this year. You have to almost figure out if you're gonna sell, or you're gonna buy, or are you gonna try to middle off, because you also don't want to get fleeced either. So
I'm calling the Giants. Honestly, like I joked about it last week, but like I'm seriously calling up the Giants and saying like, what I know you just extended him, but what is your price for Dexter Lawrence? Would you take T. Higgins and a pick for Dexter Lawrence? Because again, if you're not going to extend T. Higgins, then losing him now when you're 0-3, I think 6 teams have made the playoffs after starting 0-3 in the NFL history.
It's tough.
At this point, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. You've got Jermaine Burton. I don't know why Jermaine Burton isn't getting snaps. I've heard all these excuses about his attitude and stuff, but every time he gets on the field, big plays happen. He gets open. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why Von Bell isn't getting snaps. Or excuse me. I don't know why Jordan Battle isn't getting snaps over Von Bell. Defense can't tackle. Dax Hill, he got blown by Terry McLaurin. And it was a great play by Jaden Daniels. It was a great throw. It was a huge throw. But like, there's so many holes. And that really does break my heart to say, because I love these guys. I love a lot of these guys. I know that most of them are trying their hardest and they love the city, but they cannot figure it out. Something needs to happen. And I'm not someone to hop on the fire Zach Taylor train at all. But if that's something that needs to happen, or a conversation that needs to be had, then now might be the time to start having it. Maybe you need to fire Lou Anarumo. Maybe you need to fire Duke Tobin. He's not technically a GM, but GM of the Bengals, because these draft classes have not been great. There have been good guys that have come out of each one, but since getting Joe, a lot of them have not been great.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, when it comes to like your draft classes and stuff, like some of the guys you've drafted were already slated to be generational talents. Like, for example, like you knew going in with the first overall pick that Joe Burrow was going to be that game changer you were going to get. I don't remember where you drafted Jamar Chase at, but everybody knew he was the generational wide receiver coming out. And having Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase reconnected, it just made sense. But like everybody else, I mean, obviously I'm not a Bengals fan, so I don't really know as much, but like I feel like some of those picks that you've made, like for example, like Jordan Battle, I was so high on him, and it feels like you guys aren't even using him. And it's one of those things where it ends up being like wasted potential, because by the time Jordan Battle might start actually producing, it might not even be with you guys. It might be as like a backup safety for the Washington Commanders. I don't know. It just happened to be on that train right now since we're talking about that team.
I'm tired of watching them let And I've been someone who's been like, just trust the front office. I trust the process. But their plan to replace Jesse Bates failed. Their plan was Dax Hill. That failed. Their plan to replace DJ Reader, I don't even know that they had a plan. I don't know what they were trying to do. It just didn't work. It was awful. I'm going to do a more, once I watch the All 22 at some point this week, I'm going to do a more in-depth analysis of this. But overall, like right now, my emotions are just like, I'm mad. And I'm disappointed in this team because this team can be so much better than what it is and should be.
Do you think that maybe like some of the free agents that are kind of available could help you? Like, I know you said Jesse Bates, like Dax Hill is not the answer. I know that there's a lot of like old safeties available. Like, do you think that could help you, or do you think that you guys have so much to fix that you don't know what to work on? You know,
The thing is, so I don't know why we didn't go after Justin Simmons. I thought it was because his price was way too high. And then I saw what the Falcons got him for, and I was like, we definitely should have paid that. Now the Falcons have Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons. There are no defensive tackles in this upcoming free agency class that are worth anything to help us. BJ Hill, who's already on the Bengals, is the top ranked defensive tackle in this draft class, free agency class. This 2025 draft class is loaded with defensive tackles, but again, then you're relying on a draft pick to develop and hope they can be a starter day one. It just, you could maybe, they brought in Lawrence Guy. Who knows if he'll be helpful on the D line? I don't know. He's old. He's like 35. We'll see. Safeties, maybe. I don't know that that's our biggest issue. I really think our pass rush is our biggest issue. Zach Carter and Jay Tuafele went from being third stringers to now they're our starters on the D line. That's not good. Trey Hendrickson is all we have right now. And Sam Hubbard needs to figure it out because he should not be as bad as what he has been.